you keep track of what everybody looks like, what your setting is, all of that stuff? Do you keep a journal of just notes to accompany the story, or do you just keep it all up in your head for 20 years? Or how do you keep track of it?
Summer of Luck evolved over time, remember. So that's I do make notes, but I'm not one of those writers that lays everything out. I mean, when Summer of Luck was being, the first time it was all, I mean, I had an idea of the arc of the story, but I didn't know exactly what was going to happen. And as it turned out, if you look at that first draft of Summer of Luck, it's almost nothing like the story that came up today. The characters are the same, or at least the three main characters are the same. And the idea of, these kids learning to believe in themselves, that's the same. But other than that, it's all very different. And I forgot the question.
We're just talking about how you're keeping track of the characters and everything else.
Oh yeah. So well, is this a good time? Maybe we should say what the book's about before I start.
No, I want to leave esteemed audience a complete mystery. No, yes, absolutely. Let's let them know.
Okay.
If you would give us an overview of the book.
Sure. So Summer of Luck is about three kids who are finding their way to self-acceptance with the help of a ghost who haunts a magical carnival. So that's the basic story, but it's about these three kids, and they all struggle with some kind of communication. The girl, Darby, is 11, and she stutters. One of the younger boy, Naz, he's 10 years old, and he has just moved to America from Morocco with his mom, and he speaks French and Arabic, but he's just learning English. And the second boy, the third of the three, is Justin, and he's 12. And right before the story starts, Justin's father has died, and he has completely stopped talking. So the three of them meet at summer camp, and the second that the three of them are in one place at one time, they start hearing this calliope music, like from a carousel. And all of a sudden, they can hear each other's thoughts. And so they're able to communicate telepathically like that, which, is convenient for
solves their
kids'
communication problems nicely. Yes.
Yeah. And ultimately, they are able to communicate otherwise, but it's a part of the story that they're able to continue to do that through the story. And they have no idea where this music is or why this music is doing this. So they sneak over to this abandoned warehouse next to their camp, and they sneak into the warehouse, and it's a big, beautiful, bright carnival, old-fashioned carnival with old-fashioned rides and old-fashioned, games and everything like that. And they meet this ghost who is used to be the owner, and his name is Leroy Usher Carnival King, and that's the L.U.C.K in the title. And he asks them for their help in reconciling his estranged adult children. And in return, he promises that he will help them find their voices. And so it is through his carnival rides, his magical carnival rides, that he takes them on these adventures, and they learn through what he teaches them. And as they learn themselves, how to find their voices. And that means different things to different kids, but that's the gist of the story. So when you asked me the question about how did I keep track, I had you know, 3 kids and they're all at the summer camp and they all have bunkmates. And you know, I had to make up all these names for their bunkmates, and, you know, I had to keep track of which characters were, you know, who was the counselor. So things like that, I definitely made good notes on. And I was, you know, I also got a lot of advice to say, you know, you got to eliminate some of these characters. There's too many, there's too many names. So, you know, I did that. But I mean, anything that is that kind of, you know, or a timeline, you know, I had to figure out, well, first of all, the book takes place in 1999 for a reason that, well, I'm writing a sequel to it, and the sequel has to take place around then because of other related things. But I don't want to go off on too much of a tangent here. But the point is that I do keep track of things like that, but I do not. I know it's really common for many authors to write like a Bible for each character, and that's just not. It's not my way. I'm very spontaneous about the story. I find that writing, as I'm writing the sequel, because my wonderful publisher not only signed me for Summer of Luck, but for 2 sequels. So I am almost at the end of book 2, which continues the following summer. And
I hope you're still having fun if you've got a 3rd book yet.
I know. It's like, oh my God, what's the 3rd one going to be about? But I'm not, I mean, as I write this book, I am amazed and this same feeling of joy when I'm writing a scene and I'm not really sure exactly how it's going to play out, but all of a sudden I'm typing. Now I do everything on a computer, not on a yellow legal pad, but you know, it is a joy when something comes out of me that I had no idea what it was going to be. And that's what I love about writing. That's why being a novelist, it's not something I'm, you know, I don't expect necessarily. Oops, sorry, I kicked at the camera. You know, I don't know what's going to happen with it. I hope people read it. I hope they love it. And but it needed to come out, so that's why I do it. That's why I get a lot of joy out of it.